Here's Sang-Hoon Chin, far side circle, finds the trailer, it's Sylvester, he scores! Oh, what a rocket from number 16. Not in front, pass save by Harmon. Lead for Mitch-Walensky, he's in on a breakaway, he scores! The Cavalry is shot, stopped by Harmon. The rebound came out, oh, and Harmon with the denial. Hello all, and welcome to yet another edition of the Atlanta Gladiators podcast. My name is Liam Godimer, joined by my media assistant, J.D. Kuchta, and Gladiator forward, Spencer Kennedy. Spencer, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So, Spencer, we come off of a 4-game road trip against the Orlando Solar Bears, South Carolina Stingrays, Savannah Ghost Pirates. Things didn't go exactly the way that the team may have wanted, but just in your opinion, what did you see? And we were talking about before the episode, right? Saved our best game for our last one. So.
Yeah, it was good to see the guys persevered and pushed hard for that fourth game, and unfortunately we didn't get the bounces we wanted. Goal turned off or disallowed there at the end of the period. But, yeah, I was happy to see that all the boys stuck with it, and we pushed all through the weekend.
Would love to touch on a little bit more of that last-second goal, or non-goal, rather, for Reese Vitelli. Have you ever seen a goal come that close but not count?
I don't know, and Vitelli, he shot that puck pretty hard. It was on a string, so he couldn't have got it there any quicker. But, yeah, it's crazy that we have all the video and stuff for the refs to make sure that call was right. And unfortunately, we didn't get that call, but we stuck through it. And we had a good third period. We didn't bury on some of our chances, which we know we need to improve on, and I think we will do that for our fans at home this weekend.
And we talked about the second game in Orlando. Let's talk about the first. You go toe-to-toe with Daniel Walker. Talk to me about that fight.
Yeah, he's a tough guy, tough customer, and, yeah, that's kind of my role here. So, yeah, just trying to fire up the boys. We were down and hoping to get a spark on that bench, and I think we did get a little spark from it, but unfortunately didn't get the 2 points.
Right. So for you personally, you joined the Gladiators. You've been to Orlando and South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Before this road trip?
Yeah.
But first time in Savannah?
Yeah.
First time ever for you in Savannah?
Yeah.
What did you think of the city?
Yeah, it's a great city, nice. Our hotel was very nice. Rink, very nice. Yeah, they got a good organization there. Sucks we couldn't have won one there, but yeah, no, it was a fun experience just to see what it's like there on the river. A couple good restaurants, good time with the fellas for sure.
So you talk that it was a good experience. What about your experience in the SBHL? I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, Liam, but I apologize. What was that like? I know you were part of that championship-winning team last year.
Yeah, that was a great experience for sure. Not many times you get to win a championship in professional hockey, so for me to do it my first year was a really cool experience. I learned a lot from the older guys that were there. Like we had a few 30, 32-year-olds that really knew how to play the game, knew the right way to play the game, and we were rewarded with a championship. So, yeah, the SBHL was a great experience. It definitely helped me become a pro, be a better pro, and learn the ins and outs of what it's like to be a pro every single day. And, yeah, Dan Bremner, everyone from the owners in Roanoke, yeah, they do it the right way there for sure.
Talk me through that playoff run as a whole.
Yeah, it was crazy for sure. I was hurt with my hand, so I got to witness it firsthand.
Shocker.
Yeah, but it was cool to be an outside eye looking in and being in the locker room with the guys and having having a voice in the dressing room and watching some of those tight-knit playoff games was pretty cool to see, and just watch those older guys, like how they weather the storm, because, yeah, the other team's going to make a big push. Their season's on the line. It's their last period of their season. Like, they're going to give it all they got. So you got to weather that storm and then push back with your storm. So it was cool to see how the older guys did that. And I learned a lot from guys like Mac Janssens, who was the captain there, and some other guys like Matt O'Day, who have been doing it for a long time.
So did you feel like that experience really set you up for success once you inevitably got to the ECHL?
Yeah, it definitely helped with some success for sure. It definitely showed me what I need to work on there, and I did work on it a lot in the SPHL, and just kind of bringing that mindset to this level for sure is just like being the last one off the ice at practice every day, working on my skating, working on those fundamentals, just kind of perfecting your craft and trying to become a better pro.
On that note, real quick, Spencer, you are always the last one on the ice. Do you just make it a note in your head, just like nobody's going to get off after me, or just what's your mindset with that? Because I saw Connor Kasperi, who was here prior. He would do the same thing. Just again want to make their presence felt. So
it's just you got to perfect your craft, and just getting better at every single day is a big thing for me. And if that's being on the ice, the last one, helping the goalies if they want to work on stuff, that helps me with my shot. For my skating, just being on the ice, doing skating drills, that's huge for me. You can never get more reps of skating for me. Like, I can do it all day. I could work on skating because I do need to work on that if I want to get to the next level. So that's what I want to keep doing, and that's where I want to be in the future. So with that comes a lot of work you got to put in after practice, because just doing the things in practice is just going to get you by. Like, I don't want to just get by. I want to be better, and I want to perfect my craft for sure.
With that being said, coming up to the ECHL from the SPHL, is there a difference in the pace of play during games?
Definitely, yeah, without a doubt. It's crazy coming up here. The guys are with the puck. They know what they're doing before they even get it. And at this level in this league, these guys are some NHL caliber hockey players. So being on the ice with them is pretty cool. Getting to see how they make plays, how they see the ice. And like I said, you asked if it's faster. It's definitely faster. It's not one step faster, but two for sure.
On that note, what is your mentality shift to shift?
Just get out there, work as hard as I can, be in the right spots for my teammates to have options, have plays to make, and also protect my teammates. Be out there, kind of be a sheriff out there, dictate, be loud, make sure no one's going to take any chances, liberties on my teammates, and that's kind of my role.
Love that.
So on that note of you being the sheriff of the team, you've been in a lot of fights so far this year. Who has been your favorite opponent to fight so far?
Favorite opponent this year? Walker this weekend was pretty cool because he fought that Rempe. So just fighting guys who are a little bit tougher than me, that's always something to get up for.
Fought Rempe?
Yeah, he fought Rempe this year twice.
Wow.
In the A, because he was with Syracuse.
Have you seen like the stuff with Matt Rempe? Like just like every single game, like almost right off the jump, he's getting in a battle.
Yeah, his
That's
time
crazy.
on the ice is like 14 minutes in the NHL, and he has like 29 minutes or something in penalties. So definitely a guy I kind of look up to, and I definitely wish like I want to be him one day. Like that's my goal.
So you're talking to two Ranger fans,
Yeah.
of course, outside of being Gladiators fans. I love the Gladiators. But just seeing Rempe and just seeing his role, like just get a little flashback in my mind every time I see him fight. I'm like, Kennedy's like that.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
we have a player like that, which is
That's a big compliment to me for sure. I appreciate that. But yeah, he's a beast for sure. And like I said, he is doing those extra reps after practice. He is in the gym working out every day because you have to if you want that to be your role.
Right.
So I want to take a step back to just the very beginning of your hockey career. What first got you into hockey?
I was 3 years old, Tom Thumb, with my parents taking me to the rink every day. I fell in love with it very, very right from the start. My parents were big into it, and I couldn't play enough hockey. I was in the garage shooting pucks, and then we'd go to practice, and I'd come home and shoot pucks in the garage when I got home. Like, that was just kind of my thing, and it was. It's a game. It's my first true love, and it's definitely.
Did you always have a dream to be a forward, or were you in between the pipes some days as a young kid, or defense early on?
I really dislike goalie.
Gotcha.
Goalie wasn't for me. I was. My dad was my coach one year, and I refused to go goalie. I was like, I'm not putting those pads on. And he's like, you have to. And I was miserable all
He pushed
day.
you into it?
Yeah, he's like, you have to. Everyone has to take a turn. And I was mad at him all day. I was like, no, I do not want to do this. But, I played D growing up, too. I was a little bit bigger. My skating wasn't very great, so as a D-man, you don't have to skate as much. So I was like, okay, I'll play D. But I realized with my size and stuff, my net front presence, like forward, when I was midget to junior, I was full-time forward.
So growing up in Alberta, were you an Oilers fan? Flames?
Flames. Grandpa has season tickets to the Flames.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been going for years. So ever since I remember being young, he would take me to a few games growing up. So, yeah, Flames for sure. My number one team growing up was the Washington Capitals, though.
Okay.
Alex Ovechkin. He was my...
I would have thought Tom Wilson.
I would have.
I loved Ovi. Him in his office and taking one tees. Like, I always thought that would be so cool. And I was on the power play when I was younger, like in that half wall area. But as I started moving my way up levels, I realized there's guys a lot better than me to do the half wall job. So I just was like, I'll use my size and go in front of the net.
So did your love for the Capitals come before you joined the Rail Yard Dogs?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was a long time ago.
So that's kind of a crazy coincidence, huh? That you just end up in Virginia, pretty close to the team that you root
Pretty
for,
close. I wanted to go to a game, but it never worked out. I didn't have a vehicle there, so it just never worked out. But yeah, definitely cool to be around that area.
We will work on it.
Okay,
we
yeah.
will work on it.
Yeah.
I'll talk to some people.
All right.
We can arrange some
Yeah,
things.
That'd be sick. I would go for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Just going back to your style of play, something that I've noticed, of course, you're enclosed in a very specific role, but every single time you're on the ice, Spencer, you make something happen. Like, is that something you have in the back of your mind? Just like, hey, I don't know how many shifts I'm going to get tonight, but I just want to make sure I'm impactful because, again, whether it's keeping the cycle going in the offensive zone, just waking us up a little bit, of course, big checks, hits, fights, it just seems like you're just impactful overall for us.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, if I don't get a lot of shifts that game, I'm 100% on that bench, full energy bar, ready to go. So when I do get my opportunity to get on the ice, like I want to make an impact. I want to, like you said, if that's a hit, if that's making a good play, whatever it is, I definitely want to do it to 100% best I can because I'm full of energy. So I got to get the boys going somehow.
Sure.
So with tomorrow being an early game, 10:30 in the morning, the fans expect you to drop the gloves, get that energy going a little bit, get it going soon?
Maybe he doesn't want to do it because it's education day. Don't want to scare the children in attendance too much.
fair.
I mean, what's your mindset there?
Yeah, definitely there are kids that are going to be there, so I'm not going to be running around looking for it. But at the same time, like I said, I try and be a sheriff out there. And if a guy on the other team decides he wants to run around a little bit, definitely going to take care of business for sure.
And on that note, Spencer, I mean, I know we touched on it a little bit with your fight with Walker, but you've kind of made your rounds with the South Division. Seeing you fight Chris Ordabody, of course, Daniel Walker. We saw Matthew Bazarin you fought during Spit and Chicklets night, Josh Thrower as well. I know you specified Walker, but are there any other customers that you've fought with that you're just like, wow, like I want another shot at them?
Yeah, definitely. Like that Ordabody fight didn't go the way I wanted it to. He was a very strong man. He kind of just tied me up weird, and yeah, it definitely didn't go the way I wanted it to.
We'll see it again, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely, probably.
Yeah.
But knowing the way we both play, that definitely will probably be happening. But yeah, some other ones like Bazarin was a good one. Obviously, big stage, Spin Chicklets night.
Yep.
Knew that was going to happen. They called them up from the Fed. Yeah, you knew that was happening, and yeah, it definitely was a good one. Yeah, a few other good ones. I had a few good ones last year in the SBHL as well. Definitely some good ones there. Sean Galka, I'll give him an honorable shout out because he was one of the tougher guys I fought. He was with South Carolina last year. Just a guy that's willing to do it and get punched in the face. So, yeah, he's very tough for sure.
Going back to that fight against Matthew Bazarin against Orlando on Spit and Chicklets night, of course, that clip goes viral and is tweeted out by the Spit and Chicklets Twitter account. When you see that after the game, I mean, how many impressions, just how many people saw you drop the gloves? That had to be pretty neat.
Yeah, it was cool. My phone was blowing up all night. It was all my buddies from back home were like, "You're on Chicklets." And I'm like, yeah, for sure. So yeah, just shout out to all my buddies back home for reposting it, getting my name out there. Definitely appreciate it. Doesn't go unnoticed for sure. And all if I didn't respond back to you, yeah, thanks for posting it, and there's a lot of people posting it.
So with that fight specifically, and also one of the fights that you had against Josh Strower, it just seemed like you were just throwing caution to the wind, just blow after blow after blow. Is there a lot of strategy to the fights, or is it just I am going to rear back and just let it fly and hope I connect? Or
I don't know. There's definitely strategy to it. Like, definitely thinking about it, mental reps, what you want to do. But as soon as that doesn't happen, then it's all out the window kind of, right? Like,
Gotcha.
You can be like, oh, I want to go on left, and then you go on left, and there's nothing. So then it's like, all right, like, what am I going to do now? You kind of got to be in the moment. And I've noticed from my rookie year last year to this year, like, I'm more in the moment in the fights, like, more present with it. I don't, like, kind of black out and be like, oh, and then watch the video after and be like, oh, yeah, I landed that punch. I'm more in it. I'm more like, the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it for sure.
So do you like the electricity in the crowd? Like with the crowd always getting super hyped, does that like boost you up at all?
That's probably the second reason I do it is for the fans. And then obviously number one is for my teammates.
every single time that you've had a fight at Gas South Arena, you have that pump up motion, and I know that they love it. That's why when I was thinking in the back of my head, all right, got this podcast coming up. Who do I want to bring on? I'll bring on somebody who's become a fan favorite real quick here. So I know the fans definitely enjoy it as well.
That's awesome.
We enjoy it very much up in the booth.
You ever hear one of my calls of a Spencer Kennedy fight? Oh my gosh, it seems like I am freaking out. That's because I am, and I want to see Spencer win every single time. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I try my best to win every time, but my coach and junior, Kevin Killer Kaminsky, played for the Washington Capitals, legend. He didn't win a lot of fights in his day, but he showed up. He fought Ty Domi, Bob Robert, like those are some tough names, and he would hang in there with them. And his teammates respected him for just showing up. Like that's sometimes all it takes is, yeah, maybe you're not going to win the fight, but you're willing to show up, drop the gloves, and yeah, you showed up.
And on that note, of course, a very new team from last year in terms of the Gladiators, a lot of rookies. But after you fought a guy like Josh Strower, who is, of course, such a staple, within this organization and in this community, did you have any of your teammates come up to you and say something along those lines like you were talking about? Like, hey, that is one tough customer. You stood up and, mad respect to you.
Yeah, there were a few guys for sure that I've played with him. And even before the game were like, hey, he's a tough customer. Like, just be ready. And yeah, I appreciate them for showing me out and being aware of the sacrifice I'm making, and they appreciate it. So then I'm willing to make that sacrifice every day.
I love that. For me, so let's go back to the SPHL championship in Roanoke. Just talk to me about that fan base. Talk to me about that Game 7 you said, and you said your captain didn't have a goal the entire playoffs?
Yeah, so it was Game 4. Game 4, it was best of 5. We had a chance to win it at home, which was pretty cool. But in the moment, we were up 2-1. We're going into the third, and I wasn't dressed, so we all go down and put our gear on. We're about to celebrate, and Birmingham scored with like a minute left to tie it up, to push overtime. So we're all like, oh crap! Like we're in our no, they scored so it's 2-2 tie going into overtime. Game 4, we could win it at home with an OT goal, and then our captain, who was scoreless all playoffs, wins the cup for us. So you can't write it up better than that. It was pretty cool. We're all dressed up in our gear in the dressing room, and then he scored the goal, and we all fly out there. And
So what's the message from the captain and the coaches to the team in the dressing room after regulation comes to a close in a game like that?
It was just keep doing us. We're gonna persevere. We're gonna find a way. We always have. We did it in dogs fashion, is what we called it. It was dogs hockey, dogs fashion, and
Gotcha.
it was. We always made it a little bit harder on ourselves than we needed it to be. I don't know if we did that on purpose or not, just for the thrill of it. But we could have closed out that game and won 2-1 and won the trophy. But of course they scored. I think it was like 15 seconds left. Like it was in the final minute. They had pulled goalie 6-on-5. They scored. you could hear a pin drop in the rink. It was like, oh my goodness, we're going to OT. And we go to OT, and within 5 minutes of overtime, our captain goes out there and gets the job done. So, yeah, good on him. Mac Jansen's one of the best captains I've had, along with Alec Hagman in Peoria. 2 great leaders, and just seeing him score that goal was huge.
Shout out to Mac. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I asked you this earlier. What would you rather do? Score every goal throughout the playoffs, or go scoreless throughout the playoffs and score the OT winner and win the championship?
I would probably, as a player, I would want to score every single goal throughout the playoffs because that helps our team more through the long run. But, like, definitely as a fan, like, as anyone, that's something you dream about as a kid. Like, I talked about shooting pucks in the garage, like, overtime, 5-4-3, scoring that goal, making that rink go insane. Like, that's what you think about growing up as a kid. So, yeah, for him to do that, it was pretty cool for him. He's a good buddy of mine, and, yeah, good leader, too.
That's got to be seriously tough for a captain like Mac in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Just like rallying the troops, knowing that you don't have the offensive production behind you.
And you could tell he was upset, like, with how he was playing, like, a couple weeks before that. Like, he knew he wanted to give more.
Right.
And, like, he definitely wanted to get on the score sheet. But at the end of the day, like, if you can't find the back of the net, you can't find the back of the net. But,
Right.
yeah, he just persevered, and, yeah, you got that OT winner. And, yeah, he's Mr. Roanoke is what we call him now, Mr. Roanoke.
Mr. Roanoke. All right,
Yeah.
well, we got a Virginia native here, so, in
You know,
JD.
being a Virginia native, I can tell you Roanoke's a little small city. Can you tell me what that parade was like?
It was, yeah, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for sure. Obviously, I hope to do it again with another team, hopefully the Gladiators.
That'd be nice.
I would love to win a Kelly Cup here. But, yeah, that parade was, it was thousands of people just out there supporting us, drinking beers, throwing us beers, all in their Roanoke jerseys, like flags. Yeah, it was one of the coolest experiences of my life for sure. And yeah, just seeing everyone out there at the parade was pretty cool that we got it done for them.
Was that the first championship you've ever won?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So it's probably building up.
First big one. I had one in minor midget when I was like 15, which was pretty cool too. But like,
Still counts.
Yeah, it counts. But to do it at the pro level to that extent in front of 6,000 people, it was it was something I want to do again for sure.
Right. And take me through that playoff run for you specifically. You mentioned that you were hurt, but did you get some time in early rounds? Or?
No, I didn't get any games in, but yeah, just being there with the team, it was pretty cool. I got put on the IR like the day before playoffs. We had to make a decision, and coach pulled me in, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna put you on the IR." I was like, "Well, my hand is broken, so."
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah,
but injured reserve. Yeah.
I was willing to push and play through playoffs because I knew our team had it. Like we knew we were gonna do damage in playoffs. Like we wanted that trophy badly, and I wanted to be a part of it so bad. And our coach knew that, and he just said, "Yeah, everything you've done for us so far this year, like we're gonna keep you around. We want you in the locker room. We want you with the fellas. We want you pushing through playoffs with us." And I was like, yes, I want to be here. And yeah, it was a good decision I stayed because we got a ring out of it.
And you may have been hurt and you may not have played, but I bet your impact was huge for your teammates.
I appreciate that. And yeah, I tried just being a positive attitude in the dressing room because there was guys like Jansen's who wasn't scoring. Like I would go up to him and have a conversation. Dude, you're great. Like you're fine. Like you're good. We're going to win this. We're going to do it. And I hope I helped out a little bit to get a ring, but end of the day, the fellas got me a ring, so I'm not complaining. We actually got shoes, too, Nike.
Did you get shoes?
Yeah, they did it up right for us.
And the colorway, too? The blue
Colorway,
and,
yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
they toss a logo on there?
SPHL champion. Yeah.
Those must be sweet.
Embroidered, yeah.
Those are one of those.
Show you guys pictures of them if you want after.
Yeah, show them. We'll post them out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely awesome. What do you got, JD?
So you were in Reading for a short time. Just take me through that real quick.
Yeah, so my goal after last season with Roanoke, and I told the coaches I want to play at the next level. I want to be in the ECHL. And started in the summer with training and stuff, getting foot speed faster to be able to play at this level. And Reading, I knew the coach there, James Henry. Just knew him through a mutual friend, and got his number, and conversations went really well. And I had a few other teams in the league. I was thinking about like a couple other teams, and I decided to go to Reading, and I got 3 or 4 games there, and it just wasn't fitting. Like the shoe didn't fit there. I love the guys there. I loved the next level. Like everything in the ECHL is pretty cool. You're NHL affiliated. Like it's pretty sweet. Growing up, coming from a small town like me, or small junior B team like me, like I was like, yeah, if I'm affiliated with an NHL team, I'll do it. Like so, got that opportunity in Reading, and then it didn't work out there, and I got sent back to Roanoke, and I was in Roanoke for 2 games. And then the coach was like, all right, like, I'm going to be honest with you. You're not in our top 6. You're not. Because we had a strong core coming back from last year. And he's like, for you as a hockey player to get better, you have to play some minutes. And you're not going to get that here. So they sent me to Peoria. And I got to play a lot more there. Got some power play time in the SP. And, like, found myself as a player a little bit. Got on the score sheet. And then I told the Peoria coach, I was like, I don't want to be in Peoria very long. Like, I want to be in the ECHL. And within 3 weeks of being in Peoria, he got me the offer here with Nezzy. Guy Trudel is my coach in Peoria. He's a Hall of Famer in Peoria, Hall of Famer coach. He played in the AHL. He played against Coach Nez, so they know each other. And once he thought I was ready, he gave Nezzy a call, and then I got called up here.
That had to be a little bittersweet for you, leaving the SPHL. Of course, you move up in your career, but just from the way that you're talking to me about your time with Roanoke, it seemed like you had a blast in the league. So
I loved it. I really did. And you play against some other teams in this league, and they chirp me a little bit, like, go back to the SPHL. It's like,
right.
I would love to. It was amazing there. Like
that's no roast.
Yeah,
that's
no,
not a roast.
No, it's like, yeah. I loved it. It's part of me. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to pretend like, oh yeah, it's a league below us. I wasn't there. Like I loved it. I really did. And they treat you pretty well there in Roanoke. There's a few teams in the league that maybe aren't as high up there as Roanoke, but Roanoke's like just as well as an ECHL team for how you get treated off the ice and on the ice. So
That's awesome.
I don't want to go back there because I do want to play in the ECHL for the rest of my life and hopefully AHL and work my way up. But I definitely don't want to go back. But if I could go back to last year and live those moments again, I definitely would because best times of my life.
Well, let's fast forward to you getting that ECHL contract and that call from Nezzy. What were your emotions at the time? How were you feeling? What was that process like?
I was so thrilled, so excited. I was putting in lots of being the last guy off the ice in Peoria, just putting that work in because that's what you got to do to get up to the next level. That's what you got to do to get better. So I was doing that in Peoria, and Guy gave me the heads up that Coach Nezzy or the Atlanta Gladiators coach was going to give me a call, and I was like waiting by my phone all day, and he didn't call me that night. So I was like, Guy, like what's going on?
Pulled an all-nighter there?
I was like just waiting by my phone all night, and he
Yep.
didn't call me that night. I think you guys were on the road in Trois-Rivières.
Antoine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was doing that. So he called me like Sunday afternoon or whatever it was, Monday morning, and asked if I want to be a Gladiator. And I jumped at the bit, took that opportunity, and now here we are, a month and a half later.
Any other things that you're looking forward to? So you've established yourself with the Gladiators. Anything else you're really looking forward to throughout this season?
A couple more wins with the fellas, that's for sure. And just getting better at my craft, working out, getting bigger, getting faster, getting stronger. So next year maybe I get a couple games in the AHL. Like that would be my goal for sure, is have a huge off season, come back like 20 pounds heavier, stronger, benching like 2 plates, coming back just looking huge, and hopefully get a shot up at the next level.
You talk about your relationship with the boys. What can you say about coming in to a locker room, after the season had started, not really knowing a lot, or did you know, any familiar faces in the locker room? What was that process like, and how welcoming were your teammates?
I think the only guy I really knew on this team coming in was Hoff from Reading at the start of the year. I knew Hoff pretty well, and texted him as soon as I got the call from Coach, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, you're in a good spot here. Like, we get treated very well. Apartments are very nice here. Rink's nice, gym, everything, whole 9 yards. And then the guys are awesome too." Hoff's like, "Yeah, this is one of the best group of guys." So I was like, "Okay, well, sign me up. When can I fly there?" So yeah, and everyone's just been so welcoming too. It's been awesome. Yeah.
Do you feel like you kind of just fit right in as soon as you got here day one?
Yeah, kind of. I've been on 2 or 3 teams this year, and it's definitely tough, kind of, because they're your brothers. Like, you work with them, you hang out with them all day, you ride the bus with them for hours. Like, you gotta find a way to get along, and you gotta find a way to hang out. It's not like finding a way here. We're all just happy to be here and happy to hang out with each other, which is very nice, because you get some teams with guys that aren't very nice to be around. So yeah, we don't have any of that here, which is awesome.
Spencer, you may be a rookie, but you come to me as a leader. That's kind of how you establish yourself, in the locker room. Is that kind of the player you want to become as you continue to develop? And on that note, how hard is it as somebody who wants to be a leader, of course, in a young locker room, dealing with the struggles that the team has gone through so far this year?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. It's definitely instilled in me through my parents growing up. Like, use your voice. You have a big voice. Yeah. Use it. Don't let people walk over you. Don't let people walk over other people. If you see something and it's not right, you gotta speak up. You gotta let them know that, so then it doesn't happen again. Like, you just nip it in the butt there, and then whatever. Like, people make mistakes. It's life. But if they do make mistakes, you gotta be on them. You gotta be stepping up to the plate, letting people know. Which, like, obviously I'm trying not to overstep, but like at the same time, that's just how I was raised. So that's how I'm gonna act. And yeah, definitely. I don't shy away from anyone. You could be Sidney Crosby in our locker room, and if Sidney Crosby wanted to be a jerk, I would tell him to go somewhere.
I think that says it all right there.
That says a lot about his character.
Well, JD, I think it's time.
Is it time?
It's time. Well, Spencer, Thrashers Night is quickly approaching this upcoming Saturday. I've got the hat, JD's got the shirt and the jacket, and of course for those watching live on YouTube or will watch after the fact on YouTube, you can see our fresh apparel. How excited are you for your first ever Thrashers Night on Saturday?
It's pretty sharp. I like that shirt. Hat's nice. I'm really excited. Yeah, it's going to be from what you guys say, a sold-out barn, which there's nothing better than playing in front of 8,000 people. Like, we did it on Saturday in front of 10, right? It's pretty cool to play in front of that many people, especially at home. Like, we were in Orlando, so we're trying to tilt the ice the one way and kind of get the fans out of it, but we're at home on Saturday, so we get that extra player in the stands, which is huge.
And we're facing the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, and I don't think you fought a Swamp Rabbit so far this year. We saw Berkey fight Jake Stevens on the road there.
He did, yeah.
During the last game. Thrashers Night. Spencer, we got to see it. I don't care who it is. We got to see it. Whether it's Pavlichev. I don't know if Pavlichev will drop.
I think he got called up.
Did he get called up? All right.
15,
I was just thinking size.
Number 15?
15.
Yeah, I think he did get called up.
All
but,
right.
Yeah, definitely when there's that many people in the building, it's I feel like I'll find a combatant for sure.
Awesome. Well, 2 final questions for you. What do you have to say to Gladiators fans that have just become enthralled with you and your game ever since you've joined the roster? And, of course, what's your message to those who've been supporting the team throughout the rest of the year?
Yeah, we appreciate your support so much. It really, truly doesn't go unnoticed when you guys show up. You guys are loud. You guys bring a lot of passion to the rink, and that's what we need. We need it in the building. We need it to get the extra point. If we go to overtime and you guys are in there hooting and hollering, that's going to push us to get that extra point. It's going to push us to get that win for you guys, because we do it for fans, we do it for our fan base, and we do it for each other in the dressing room.
What's one thing that fans wouldn't know about Spencer Kennedy by listening or watching the Atlanta Gladiators podcast? Fun hobbies. We had Zach Yoder and Alex Whalen talk about their puzzle hobby. Tyler Harmon and Alex Whalen talk about their puzzle hobby.
I've actually seen the puzzles they do actually at Harm's house. They're pretty nice. I would never do a puzzle personally.
Not a puzzle person?
No, not a puzzle guy, not a book guy. I like to golf. I like anything sports. I'm into it. I'm pretty soft off the ice. I'll give you that. I'm pretty soft spoke. Like, I'm not very. You see me on the ice, I'm a way different person on the ice with that helmet on.
Right.
I'm trying to be the sheriff out there, like we said. I'm mean. I'm aggressive. All that kind of stuff. But you get me off the ice, I'm a pretty big teddy bear for sure.
Well, Sheriff Spencer Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Atlanta Gladiators podcast.
No, thank you guys for having me. It's been a blast.
Of course, as always, you can catch the Atlanta Gladiators podcast on YouTube or listen wherever you get your podcast. We'll talk next time on the Atlanta Gladiators podcast, live from the Business Radio X studios. Take care, everybody.